They say history is written by the victors. But what if the most chilling truth was buried by silence? I took his heart. These were the unforgettable words spoken by rain-in-the-face warrior legend, and the man, some say, fulfilled a blood vow by cutting the heart from Captain Tom Custer's chest after the blood-soaked chaos of Little Bighorn battle. But what really happened that day? Was Rain-in-the-Face a brutal savage, or a man pushed to the edge by betrayal, grief, and humiliation? Did he truly take Tom Custer's heart, or did someone else craft the legend? You've heard the government side, the officer reports, the battle maps. But Rain's story? He refused to speak for years, until one night, in front of white men who mocked him, he unleashed it all, raw, fearless, and with bone-deep rage. What caused the silence to break? Before the battle ever began, he was chained like an animal, denied food, humiliated by a soldier he vowed revenge on. And when he escaped, he sent Tom Custer a chilling drawing of a bloody heart sketched on buffalo hide. And when the fighting ended, Custer lay dead. Rain claimed his vow was complete. But here's the twist. Even among his own people, many doubted his story. So ask yourself, was it a confession, or a challenge to the men who tried to silence him? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll face the one truth no history book dares to print. What really happened when Rain-in-the-Face said, "I took his heart"? And why does this story still shake the bones of U.S. military history? Before we jump back in, let me know where you're tuning in from. And if this story is interesting, make sure to subscribe, because tomorrow I've got something even more intense waiting for you. Rain-in-the-Face was a fierce Hunkpapa Lakota Sioux chief and warrior who played a pivotal role in the Battle of the Little Bighorn in 1876, where Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer's 7th Cavalry Regiment was decisively defeated. Rain-in-the-Face earned a reputation for his courage and might in battle. He was also believed to hold a personal grudge against Custer, whom he blamed for the deaths of his brother and sister during an earlier conflict. According to several accounts, Rain-in-the-Face was among the warriors who attacked Custer's command. Some even claim he struck the fatal blow that ended Custer's life, though this remains a point of debate among historians, and the exact circumstances of Custer's death are still unclear. Later, Rain-in-the-Face surrendered to U.S. forces and spent time in prison. After his release, he became an advocate for Native American rights and gained fame by sharing his war experiences through Wild West shows. "If you want to hear a story," Rain once said, "I'll tell you a true story about myself. I was a bad man before I needed crutches. My heart is good now, but back then I was a fighter and a hunter. Women liked me. Men feared me. I preferred battle over food. Soldiers were scared of me, and the Arikaras and Crows would check their scalps every morning when I was around. My name was whispered with fear." At this point, Harry, knowing Native Americans often told bold tales, challenged him gently. "We know you were a tough man, Rain," Harry said, "but tell us about the time Tom Custer beat you. If you were so brave, how did a small man like Tom Custer get the better of you?" Rain-in-the-Face frowned at this. He was a powerful figure, 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing 195 pounds, while Captain Tom Custer was of smaller build. After thinking it over, Rain agreed to share his version of events, including his account of the Battle of the Little Bighorn. He spoke with vivid gestures and deep emotion, recalling every detail. For years, Army officers and federal agents had tried to get Rain to talk about the battle, using kindness, promises, even threats. But he had refused. Rain was already legendary for killing Custer, a feat even referenced in a poem by Longfellow. So when Rain finally spoke, it was a major moment. He insisted, "I'm telling it exactly as McLaughlin translated it." 2 years before the Great Battle, leaders like Gall and Sitting Bull had their camps at Standing Rock. The Hunkpapa Sioux there stood united against the government. The Yanktonais, on the other hand, were friendly tribes who stayed near the agency, hoping for food and goods. In the hostile camps, Rain in the Face enjoyed racing, dancing, hunting, and games. Food was abundant: buffalo, deer, and plenty of ponies. Rain was popular among the young women, who often teased him. One night a girl dared him. "Go to Fort Lincoln and kill a white man," she said. Rain resisted, saying it was too dangerous. Soldiers and reservation scouts were always watching. But the girl replied, "A brave man isn't afraid. If you're a coward, don't go. I'll ask someone who has danced the sun dance." Rain couldn't ignore the insult. While the girls laughed, the young men didn't. Everyone feared him. He stormed off to his lodge, painted his face black, armed himself with a gun and bow, mounted his pony, and left camp under the cover of night. He rode 45 miles north to Fort Lincoln, hiding for 2 days as he waited for the right moment. Though he could have killed a teamster or woodcutter, he wanted a soldier's brass buttons for the girl who mocked him. When the opportunity came, he sprang into action, shooting the storekeeper and striking the horse doctor with his war club before firing arrows into both. He cut off some buttons, but didn't have time to scalp them. Custer, Long Yellow Hair, heard the shots and rode back fast, so Rain fled, taunting them to catch him. That winter, Rain visited the agency store at Standing Rock. Since he hadn't signed the peace treaty, he wasn't given any rations. One arm, the storekeeper, and 30 soldiers led by Little Hair, Tom Custer, ambushed him. They threw Rain in a wagon, chained him in a freezing guardroom, and treated him like a common criminal, not a chief. Once they released him and dared him to run, hoping to shoot him in the back. Rain threatened, "I'll escape and cut out your heart, Little Hair, and eat it." Later, he and a white prisoner escaped. Though fired upon, they reached the Heart River bank, where the white man cut their chains. He was caught the next day, but Rain got away and rejoined Sitting Bull and Gall. To keep his vow, Rain sent Tom Custer a drawing of a bloody heart on buffalo hide. "Next time I saw him," Rain said, "I took his heart." Most of his tale aligned with government reports of the deaths of Sutler Ballerin and Surgeon Hansinger. Still, the listeners were curious about Tom Custer's heart. When McFadden showed Rain a sketch of Custer's last stand, Rain laughed. "This picture is a lie. Soldiers didn't fight with swords, but with guns and revolvers, and mostly on foot. Every fourth man held the horses. We tied ourselves to our ponies and fought in circles, stripped naked, painted ourselves and our ponies. Their guns jammed after one shot. I saw dozens stuck with shells on the battlefield. When we realized their weapons failed, we used war clubs. It was like killing sheep. Some begged for mercy. We gave none. White men's pictures always lie. I'll show you the truth." He turned the paper over and drew an S shape. "This is the Little Bighorn River. Our lodges lined its banks like a bent bow." "How many lodges were there?" Harry asked. "Many, 10 times many. We were like blades of grass between 4,000 and 6,000 Indians, at least 1,000 lodges." Sitting Bull had made powerful medicine on a hill and gave a rousing speech. The Great Spirit told him the soldiers were coming and we would defeat them. His words filled the camp with confidence. When their scouts confirmed soldiers were approaching, Sitting Bull had decoy lodges set up to fool the reservation scouts. Hidden in the brush, their real lodges remained unseen. Then Sitting Bull left to make more medicine and didn't return until the battle ended. Though a great chief, he didn't fight that day. Gall led the warriors, Crazy Horse led the Cheyenne, Goose led the Brûlé. Rain in the Face, though not a chief, led a fearless band of Hunkpapas. They knew the soldiers' horses were tired and deceived by the empty lodges. The troops split up, a critical error. Gall led most of the Indians upriver to cut them off. When the scouts stayed with Custer, the Lakota were thrilled. As Custer's troops moved over the bluffs, young warriors cut off their retreat. The soldiers attempted to form a line, but under heavy fire, they faltered. Native warriors behind them opened fire too. Officers huddled and pointed, but all looked the same. Rain didn't see Custer at all. As the Arikaras sang their death songs, the soldiers dismounted and assigned every fourth man to hold horses. The Lakota advanced like a wave. They shot the pony holders, stampeded the horses with waving blankets, and women collected them afterward. I sang my war song, smelled gun smoke, my heart turned black. I charged, I killed the flag bearer, and ran back with the flag, proud. Warriors cheered. Their blood and brains splashed on my face. I was enraged. I got a new pony, charged again, shooting, slashing. That's when I saw Little Hair. I remembered my vow. Rain charged forward, certain his white weasel tail charm would protect him. I don't know how many I killed trying to reach him. He recognized me. I laughed, yelled. He moved his lips, but the noise was too loud to hear. He was afraid. When I got close, I shot him with my revolver. My gun disappeared. I jumped off, cut out his heart, bit off a piece, spat it in his face, and rode away shaking it. I was satisfied. I didn't scalp him. My vow was fulfilled. Rain did not return to the battlefield. Later, the women came, finishing off the wounded, taking belongings, cutting off fingers for rings and boots for leather. They searched for Custer's scalp, but couldn't find it. He wore none. And so the haunting words, "I took his heart," echo across generations, not just as a confession, but as a riddle etched into the blood-soaked soil of American history. Was Rain in the Face telling the truth? Or was he reclaiming power in the only way a silenced warrior could in myth? In performance? In rage? Ask yourself. When a man's identity is stripped, his people betrayed, and his voice ignored, does the truth lie in what he did, or in why he had to say it? This wasn't just the story of a battle. This was the collision of worlds, one expanding in the name of manifest destiny, the other defending in the name of memory, spirit, and revenge. The U.S. military called it a massacre. The Lakota called it a stand. But history, if we dare to see it fully, must call it both. Rain in the Face's confession isn't just about Tom Custer's heart. It's about our own. How many truths have we buried because they were too brutal to confront? How many legends have we accepted because they were easier than accountability? And here's the real controversy. What if Rain didn't take his heart? And if that's true, ask yourself, who really won at Little Bighorn? Because in the end, it wasn't just lives that were lost that day. It was certainty. And maybe, just maybe, the scariest part of this story isn't whether Rain took Tom Custer's heart. It's that deep down, we'll never know, and that terrifies us more than the truth ever could. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Did Rain in the Face make good on his vow? Or did he craft a story powerful enough to outlive the battlefield? Subscribe, because tomorrow we're going deeper into a moment even more controversial, where another warrior took justice into his own hands. And this time, he didn't leave a heart behind.